Hi, I'm Julianne Hartman, and welcome to The Journey. Thank you so much for joining me today. I created this show with you in mind because I wanted you to not only know how good God is, but how He wants to see you well, how He wants to be a part of every intricate detail of your life, and give you the answers to the questions that you have while you're on your healing journey. Well, He was with me on my journey in 2008 when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and many other conditions. I doubted, I questioned, and I was so tempted to give up. But I saw God's miraculous power see me through years of pain and suffering. Today's guest is Charity Christopher. What I love about her story is that this is not one of physical healing so much, but it's emotional healing. And because of that emotional healing, she has now lost 60 pounds. I can't wait for you to hear her story. Welcome to the show, Charity.
Well, I want to welcome my friend Charity Christopher, and she's got a story of, it doesn't always necessarily have to be about a physical healing from, a disease, but there's also healing in people's hearts that can also cause them to change a whole lifestyle. And this is what we are dealing with today with Charity Christopher. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
You're welcome. I'm so privileged to be here.
So I want to talk about, well, first of all, please tell everybody how much weight you've lost.
I've lost 62 pounds.
Oh my God, 62 pounds. That's like what, a 6-year-old person?
Like a child, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And I know that, that's not something that's easily done. And that's what we're going to talk about today is your journey, losing that weight. And I know that you also have a goal of 20 more, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, just to give a little bit of a background, I last time I saw Charity was last summer. And when I just saw her now for the first time, she looks like a completely different person. And that is so awesome. So Charity, kind of walk us through, has it been a lifetime of weight situations with weight problems or, bad eating habits or stress eating and all that? Kind of walk us through that a little bit.
I was actually a very thin person. I could eat whatever I wanted. My metabolism was a really fast one, and I just ate and never gained any weight. And so it wasn't until after I had my kids that started coming on, and you just kind of eat a lot and with the kids and eating. And I try to be more conscious of it and try to, stay on top of it. But it just kept coming on. And so I kind of have both experiences of really tiny and eat what I want and what it's like to struggle and try to keep the weight off.
Wow. And I'll tell you, that happens to a lot of new parents because, it's like it's the Cheerio snacks, it's the little, cracker snacks, and then it's the kid food that they like. And then you don't even realize it, but you're eating it too,
Yeah.
And sometimes it's because you don't have enough time to, make your own stuff or whatever it might be. I definitely can see how that happens. So it kind of snuck up on you. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, how did I get here?
Yeah. And I dealt with some things, I'm an emotional I like to eat socially, but I'm emotional and stress eater, so those things as life kind of got harder and harder, I think that went, into play as well.
Right. And so, obviously, you have Jesus in your life. And so during those times of having those stress eating moments and stuff, did you ever feel the Holy Spirit kind of, tap you a little bit and say, hey, it's getting out of control?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's that I don't battle with a huge amount of depression, but I battle with some. And so sometimes it comes and hits me in waves. And so sometimes that was the roughest time is when that depression kind of comes in and you start feeling unworthy and not, you just start eating because you're just like, well, I'm stressed and I don't got anything else, going for me right now. And so you just kind of let those emotions and those thoughts and those feelings really feed your mind and heart, but then you really, you take it food, and you think you're comforting yourself, or you think you're helping yourself by being able to eat whatever I want and make me feel better. But that doesn't take any of that away.
So on October 22nd, a whole change came into your life. You want to talk about that?
I was having a really hard year at work. I mean, we'd already been in. I'm a school teacher, so we'd been in school for about 12 weeks, and the school year had been a really rough year, and a lot of things were going on and just stressful. And I felt like I just felt out of control. I felt my blood pressure was rising. I was having these tension headaches. I didn't feel good. I have no energy. I was mean and crabby, and just not the person I wanted to be. And I would be at work, and I just would get lightheaded, and I would go check my blood pressure. It was going up, and just lots of things were building in my life, and I felt out of control. That's the other thing. You just felt out of control. And when you're eating so much food and so many calories, you are out of control, and it's creating weight. But then you feel bad. You eat a lot, and then you feel bad later. Like, oh, why did I eat all that? I didn't need to do that. And then it's just another thing you put on yourself. And so I've been watching in this health program I'm in. I have a coach, and so I've been watching her story, and I just kind of watched, and I just viewed what was going on in her life, and I really realized that this is something I need to try. I want to do. I just got to a place where I was like, okay, my health, I have to put me first. My health has to come first. And the Lord was also moving me and kind of speaking to me about change, and so he wanted some change, and he has made some major changes in my life ever since October.
That is so awesome. And it is a vicious cycle at times, because you feel stressed, but so you eat because you think it's going to cut down the stress, but then it makes you feel worse, and then you feel worse about yourself. And that's exactly what the enemy tries to do, to put you in that position. So you'll just take a downward spiral and just give up. So when you were talking about how you didn't feel worthy, I mean, if you wouldn't mind just kind of going into that, because you are also a pastor's daughter. So you were raised in the church. You are a pastor yourself.
Yeah.
And so, because a lot of times pastors try to hide this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just throughout the years, it's just been a thing where, like, we don't talk about that, because we want, not that you wanted people to think you were perfect, but, it's like, I shouldn't be this way. I know Jesus. Well, so can you give a little bit about information about that, of, how could you feel like, you weren't worthy of an amazing life, of a happy life, of a stress-free life, and a life where you're happy about your body?
Yeah, it's something that I think it's kind of started in my teenage years, but I have kind of always just felt not worthy enough. I couldn't work hard enough. I couldn't do enough. Just feeling like I'm not good enough. And it wasn't really something, ever came from my parents or anything like that. It was just something I don't know if the devil just really used that on me, or, just something in me just kept telling myself that. And, my parents were always saying how proud they were of me and how much they loved me. But I guess for me, I'm a Martha. And so Martha works. She's all about works, and people appreciating her job or works and seeing it. And so I think I just work and do. And then somehow it's still, in my eyes, was never enough. I'm never enough. And so I don't know. It's a root. It's a deep root. I've discovered in talking with my husband and I've had some counseling and marriage and stuff. So I think some of that plays in it, and a little bit of depression, and for me with the weight, then that made me feel even more unworthy, because look, you're fat, you're heavy, you can't even control your eating. You look like this, people would even look at my wedding pictures as a teenager and see that I wasn't always a big girl, and be like, well, obviously you could do it. You're not doing it now, or judge. I feel like I'm being judged somehow. And so I think the weight made me feel more shameful. It made me hide more, and it made me work harder, actually, because I wanted approval and I needed people to like me. so then I just work, which then of course the cycle comes with stress. Then the stress comes, and then you eat, and then you're just not good enough, and it's a vicious cycle.
So, you said something very true about that root, because, it could be just as simple of the enemy whispering something in your ear one day and you went, I'll take that. You planted it. It's so, and you know how many other people out there, millions of people out there are listening to those same lies. So how do you get to the root of something like that and literally disarm it and pull it out of your heart?
I think you get to that point where, and I'm such I need to be in control kind of person. I mean, most people probably are, but for me, especially, I'm like, I got to be in control. I got to know what's going on. I need to know it all. I'm a need to know person. I need to plan everything. And I think the Lord just kind of put me in a place where he was saying to be still, to trust me, and let me do this, let me guide you. And I've really kind of had the picture of, him calling me out of the boat and saying, I need you to walk on the water. And there's going to be sharks, and there's going to be a storm, and it's not going to feel good. And, it's going to be uncomfortable, but you have to keep your eyes on me. And so that's trust. You trust the Lord. That's where trust comes in. And you say, okay, Lord, I'm going to trust you. And you kind of take that first step out on the water. And so I think for me, knowing these things about myself, figuring out that, and then realizing I have to get in a place where I'm not in control anymore. And then when I'm not in control, then the Lord's in control, and he directs my steps, and he has good things for me. And so he's made this journey very easy because I've let him be in control. I've kind of given up this, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to try it. Or I've always had, I'm going to try it. And if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to stop, and I'm just going to be happy being this size. Really, I mean, I kind of always went into most things that I've done, lots of things, and I would be like, well, if it doesn't work after about a month and I don't see results, then I'm done. I'm out of here. And so I think for me, this time it was like, I need to do this done. This is, for my future. And the Lord he's also was moving different pieces of my life around and telling me I needed to, move, he had something different for me for next year, for school, for work. And he was like moving me out of my comfort zone. And so it was kind of like, okay, well, not just one thing, but I'm going to move you out of your comfort zone in a lot of areas, and trust for everything, not just this little part of health, which is a big deal, but for your whole future and for this next season of your life, because he has some great things for me that are above and beyond that I even could think and imagine. So he's orchestrated all of this. It's been all him.
So Charity, what do you say to someone that is, that is not, and we're not talking 5 or 10 pounds overweight, but, 50, 60, 100, 200 pounds, where I've heard many times, I'm happy the way I am, and I'm celebrating me, but I can see into their eyes, which is into their heart, and they're not. Can you add to that? Because it always hurts my heart when people do say, well, I'm happy this way. And you're like, but at some point you're putting your health in danger, and so what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's easy to convince ourselves by saying that. I think it's more for us, and also just to the world, like, well, I'm happy this way, and if the world thinks you're happy, then they'll leave you alone. But I don't really feel like we are, when I say we, because I feel like, or I could say me, my whole goal is 80 pounds. And at the time that just seemed impossible. It was like, that just seems, 20 pounds maybe, but 80 pounds is impossible. I can't do it. And here I am only, 20 pounds away from it. But I mean, I think, it's a lie to ourselves, and it's a mask, it's a face that we wear. As I'm happy this way. I'm just going to, I'm going to eat whatever comes with it. I did that. I even got to that place where, and I told Shane one day, I was like, this is it. This is me. Sorry. I'm just going to, this is how I'm going to be. But it sounds great in your brain, and it sounds like you're accepting yourself for who you are and who God made you to be, which, sounds lovely, but really God made me to be healthy. And this is not healthy. This is not the energy level, and just the stress level of it, and just the worry of it, the thoughts, nobody wants to go shop. I don't want to go shopping. What am I going to wear today? I've wore this every day. I got nothing else to wear. I don't want to go buy more clothes, but eventually I've got to wear something that nobody has seen a million times. And I just, all of those things keep you from being who God's called us to be, called me to be. So I think it's kind of a lie, to be honest, that tells us that, but you're not healthy, and you really are. My dad's always taught me there's a difference between being happy and joyful. And so happy is circumstantial. I'm happy today. For me, I'd be like, oh, I got my Coke and I was even like happy if I could go get a Coke and a candy bar. Like I thought I was happy. Well, yeah, I'm happy right at that moment. And then about 9 o'clock hits. Well, I had a hard day. I'm fighting with, my spouse, and the kids are all, whatever. Well, I'm going to go eat my ice cream now because that's going to make me feel better and I'm going to be happy. But happy is not it. Now that I see the difference is joyful. Like I'm just so joyful, and it comes from inside. And so the difference of happy and joyful is I'm going to have to constantly be trying to be happy, and food's going to be constantly what makes me happy, or, even we would argue about where to go eat, and my family would be like, fine, we need to go where mom wants to go, or she won't be happy, and that's funny, but it's true. Cause I was very set on what I wanted to eat, where I wanted to eat, and how much of it I was going to eat. And that's circumstantial, and it's very short based. I'm happy for now. And then 2 hours later, I stress now again, I'm going to go eat something else. And so I really found like the joy on the inside. And I've had people comment on my Facebook page, and different, people that see me, they're like, you look so happy. You look so joyful, or you look so different. And I take that as in a good way, not different, like in a bad way, like, oh, you look so different, like, because you lost so much weight, but just, I think the joy inside of me, they can see. Now, if someone said you found they can see, my eyes have changed, just a joy and a sparkle and a happiness there that, and I was looking at pictures today. I've been posting one, and it was our anniversary 2 years ago. And I'm kind of smiling, but I look at that girl, and we were in Cancun on our anniversary, but I was not a happy girl. The Lord's just letting me walk in grace and in truth. I think the truth is bringing a lot of freedom to me.
That is awesome. So I'm sure you tried many diets.
Yes.
And why didn't they work?
They were a lot of work, for one. And I feel like anything too that had a lot of pills and a lot of take this and then do that and do this 30 minutes. All those things are not realistic after a while, and you can't sustain it. And I feel like it was kind of that mentality for me that if this doesn't work, then I'm done. And I kind of always set myself up with it. I kind of made it worse by saying, well, if this doesn't work, then I'll just be fat. Well, I didn't really go into it to really lose the weight. I just kind of, it was almost like a testing thing. Well, I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work for me, then this isn't meant to be. And so, you try everything. It sounds good. You're good for a month. But I really feel like the Lord directed me to this particular program. It has a coach with it, and it has a great community-based Facebook page. And you can only be on it if you are a client or a member. And so I feel like that, and I'm an extrovert, so I needed the community. I needed that coach. My coach is a Christian, and I needed that encouragement. I needed that person praying for me. I need that person checking on me. I feel like that relationship that made a huge difference this time too, having that person and having that community of people that are walking the same walk as me and encouraging. And people would put scripture verses, and people would say, we can do all things through Christ. And so I think for me, that helped a lot this year for me on this final time of losing weight.
So let me ask you a question. During the time when you were, trying all the diets and just not happy with yourself, how was your relationship with your husband?
Not really good, because I found that the more weight I had on, the more insecurities I had, and then you reflect that out, and you actually become a very negative person, and you kind of just like, I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me kind of thing. And not that my husband would, because he loves me and he wouldn't say anything negative, but just you find yourself pushing people away. and just being extra angry, and I would be really grumpy, and just emotionally I just didn't want to connect, and I kind of pushed him away. And so it's been so different these 6 months. It's been great. We've gone on getaways, and we've talked, and we've spent time. We've spent a lot of time cooking in the kitchen together. He comes in there and helps me, and we eat together. And I think we just kind of found a connection also through this, because he's lost weight, but we've also found our energy. We found our kind of just a youthfulness in each other, and it's kind of really been very special. It's made our marriage way better.
That is awesome, especially just doing it together too. And so how much weight has he lost?
I think he's lost about 42 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's a couple of pounds. He has like this goal weight. Mine, he's about 3 or 4 pounds from it, but he's pretty much at his goal weight. He's how much he weighed married, which was 23 years ago. So, I mean, we were little back then.
That is
so.
awesome. So now what's changed in your relationship with Jesus?
I really feel like he's just shown me so much grace and faithfulness and just love. He's just really loved me through this, and he's just shown me that I am worth a lot, and that he does love me. And then I have a lot to offer this world. I have a lot to give, and he wants to use me. And my health is part of it. If I'm healthy and I'm energetic and I'm happier about things, my emotions and all those things, I can do more for him. I can serve him more. But I've really found just a really sweet, just being able to trust him, just really trust him and say, okay, Lord, I'm out here on the water and it doesn't feel good, and I just want to get to you. And he just keeps calling my name. And it's just caused me to have a closer relationship with him. Because I feel like even with the way, as much as I pushed my husband and even my family and people away, I did the same thing with the Lord. Because there's that unworthiness. I don't feel worthy. And so I'll just be Martha. Martha's going to take care of everything, and I'm going to serve the church, and I'm going to do children's church, and I'm going to do VBS, and I'm going to love people. I'm just going to serve and work, but I don't feel worthy to sit at his feet.
And I don't like myself.
Yeah. And so, and it's hard to sit still because you have your thoughts and your emotion, and so it's hard to be still. And that's something calling me to do, is be still and rest, be still with me and in me, and be a Mary. And so I'm learning that. And because sometimes you don't want to be alone with your thoughts. You don't want to be alone with your emotions, or you don't want to get real deep with someone, or especially the Lord. You're like, Lord, I don't want to get real deep with you because I don't, it's vulnerable. And I think kind of just, I don't know, the weight was like a barrier. It really was with all my relationships. And I'm seeing the Lord just change that with him as well.
So let me ask you a question. What does that look like? Do you spend more time with him? Have your prayers changed? Have your conversations changed? What is that? Because most Christians are walking around with the knowledge of God, the head knowledge, but the relationship part is missing. And lots of people are walking around not even liking themselves. And so how did you get to where all of a sudden now you like, well, actually, I love myself now? How did you get there? Does that take time? Is it overnight? Is it, how long does it take to get to that place where you can say, you know what, I love myself because I love Jesus?
It's taken some time, but I really, the thing is, the Lord has just been speaking to me in different ways. I would wake up with a scripture verse. I would wake up singing a song. I'd be driving and a song would come on. And, sometimes you drive and you're not even listening. And then a song would come on, and it's like the Lord like naturally made my ears listen. And it's like, these words are for you. And it was always what I needed to hear at that moment. And he's just, even especially more so since COVID, probably since March on, with being, more at home and having a little bit more time, I feel like he's just me aside and said, this is time. It's time to, he's got a new season for me. And I think because of this new season he's putting me in, he's trying to prepare me. He's trying to have me draw close to him. And so doing so, I've just naturally found myself just thinking of him a lot more, and just, I've been reading my Bible, and every time I will read a devotional, I read something today, it was like, something jumped out at me, and it just hit my spirit. And I would read it over and over again. And it's like him saying, this is for you, Charity. This is me telling you this. And he just has little sweet nuggets like that he's been giving me. And so if the devil tries to play, whatever, he'll still try, but the Lord just has been very gracious to give me a scripture, or just a thought, or a feeling, or a knowing that he's in control. He's not going to let that happen to me, whatever that thought might say. And he's got great things for me. I push people away. And so when they react the way you're hoping they do, then you have a reason to blame them. And so I think the Lord has been really good about, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still right here. I have you on the water. You keep your eyes on me. Trust me. A lot of scriptures I've been waking up with it, and I'll read it and say, be still. Be still. And also rejoice in the Lord. Find that joy again. Find that love again of the Lord, and just, pour yourself out to me. And I think it's being vulnerable too, because I'm telling you, for me, when I'm overweight, I'm not going to be vulnerable at all in any way. So I think that's been the key, is being vulnerable.
But even sounds like at times you were setting yourself up to fail.
Oh yeah.
With
Absolutely.
relationships.
Absolutely.
And were you really conscious of doing that?
Maybe a little bit, in some ways, because, it's like, in some ways you're, and hurt, things, people have hurt me, and just things in the past. And so you kind of test the waters to see how people are going to be for you, or with you, and react to you. And so sometimes I think, yeah, I would say some things, and my husband would be like, did you just, why did you say that? I was like, I don't know. And then later I was like, in my heart, I think I was trying to get a reaction, or I was trying to kind of see, how they were going to treat me, or, sometimes maybe I was, and sometimes I wasn't. But definitely I know there was a huge difference with that weight. It was kind of like, I just kind of like had a barrier, and I, it probably hurt a lot of people somewhat, because I also kind of, you find yourself kind of doing this, I don't care. And you're very selfish too. At least I found that I found myself being more selfish, just because I feel like it was about me. Well, I have all the stress. Well, I have this, I have that, I have, and I would eat and try to stuff it all down. And so I think sometimes I did.
It's interesting, because a lot of the sugar now is made in labs, and it's just so bad. They make it so that you will be addicted to it.
Yeah.
And I also believe that it could mess with your attitude at times, right? I mean, it's like you see people that drink these caffeine drinks and stuff, to get energy, and then they're really hyped, and it's like a little bit of aggression comes out. Well, I really believe with all the sugar, and it's like I always say this, like you're playing right into the devil's hands. He's like, I got her. I got her because she's addicted to this. So she's going to keep coming back all the time. And I'm just he doesn't even have to bother you anymore, because he's already got you addicted to all that, and you already are unhappy with yourself. And it's just this vicious cycle.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I agree. Well, I would eat some, I would eat a big meal, and then I would eat dessert almost every night, about 9:00 every night. And I didn't need it. I wasn't hungry, but it was a mental, just, I deserve this, or I want this. But yes, the more sugar I would eat, the more you do. You just, and you would go, why am I eating this? I do not even want it. But it was, or something at work, and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to have to go get one of those now at my break. I don't know why. I don't really need it. And I think that was a big deal this time around. From October to now, I mean, I went through Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's. I mean, I went through all the it's like God did it on too, because I was like, God, why am I starting this October 22nd? Like I would have went, I'll call you in January, like to my coach. I would have been like, we'll get together later. But it was like perfect because he was showing me that I can do this forever. You know, that I can live this way with life. I can live this way through the holidays. It doesn't have to be about the food at the holidays. And that's the other thing I've learned is it doesn't have to be about the food. It's about the people. And so, yeah, I can go to, it's got a great dine out plan. So I still can go out and eat if I want to. But I'm learning it's about the people I'm with, because it used to always be food. Like, where are we going? What are we eating? How much, then we were going to have for dessert, and, and now it's about my family when we spend time together. It's about, the people we're across from at the table.
Well, now I know you have a son and a daughter. And so how's your relationship with your kids changed? And especially your daughter, where, it's a lot of self-image, it's all that stuff, because she's now, I believe, is in college, right?
She'll be a senior. Taylor's in college.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so
Taylor's
right.
Daughter, she'll be a senior this year.
So your daughter says she's going to be now a senior, which, these are the years where it's just like you get bombarded with all the comparative stuff and just all the stuff on social media. It's just such a hard life at that age. And so how was it before, and how has your relationship changed with her just based on what you've done for yourself?
I feel like it's much better. We talk a lot more. She comes in my room and talks to me every night when she's been working at Sonic and everything. She'll come in and hug me and talk to me and text me. And I feel like our relationship's a way better. I think too, I dealt with, I used to be her size, and now I'm big, and I probably even pushed her a little bit away from me just because of, the way she looked and the way I remember being that way. And then, just that grumpiness in me. And I feel like now we have a much better relationship, and the kids are proud of both Shane and I. And, even when we go eat, they see the healthy way we're eating. And we're hoping that they don't eat horribly bad, but I mean, we're hoping that, because we have been the people that have made them see what we were doing. And so we're hoping to kind of turn that around in our family too, healthier eating. And, she'll order salad now before a meal or something, and just different things like that. But I feel like the Lord has kind of healed and helped kind of grow our relationship with each other, especially Alyssa and I. Yeah, Alyssa and I have gotten along the last couple of months, have been really good.
That is so good. And, because it, like I said, it is a lot about the body image, and girls struggle with this a lot. And, I was the workout queen. So, I made sure I didn't struggle with that. I didn't have to, because I would just work out 20 hours a day, right? And then I would look great and everything would be okay. But then I was destroying my own body because of it. So question, do you work out?
Not now. I will. This program doesn't let you, for right now on the plan, it's just all about the eating. And so we focus a lot on the eating. And then once I get into maintenance, which maintenance is when I completely, where I'm happy, I've got all the weight off. And then they teach me how to kind of, eat correctly, everything. And then, so like my coach, she's doing CrossFit. And so she's kind of like ahead of me. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is she'll be saying, okay, you're where you want to be. So now this is the next level. Okay, let's step it up. And so it will be that soon. In fact, Shane, we're kind of waiting for the gyms and everything to completely open up around here. But that's Shane's next thing. He keeps saying, I'm going to the gym. I got to get to the gym. Hard to cook and stay focused on the health, trying to learn how to be a healthy eater and then go work out, and so I feel like it's a good thing for me to just focus on one area, and I need to get the healthy eating under control. And if I can eat, learn how to cook and feed my body the right way, then it's gonna be good for when I do start working out. So
right, and it's a healthy balance too, because but but you can't, you got to watch well, I've just worked out for an hour, so now I can eat something. And that's why I'm glad that they're doing it that way, because what they've done is they've renewed your mind. That's the whole part of the point, is to renew your mind on food. And then it's the time to go to the working out, so that your mind gets renewed on the working out as well. And it's interesting, because I watch, my mom now is 81 years old, and I look at her and she's worked out. She worked out probably the last 20 years, but it makes a big difference in our lives. And we don't think we're ever going to get old, right? So we don't realize that the maintenance that we can do right now is preparing us for our future, so we're not so frail and hunched over and and all of that. And so it's really important that we actually do get a balance of both. But I'm just so encouraged by you and so proud of you. And honestly, I mean, so this is like obviously just life changing for you. So are you going further with this as far as helping other people?
Yes. Well, and our program is all about optimal health. It's about everything. It's about having, health, in your mind and emotions, and of course we add in the spiritual for us, and, our physical body. So yes, back in January, I became a coach. My coach encouraged me to be a coach, and I was like, oh, we'll see. And then I had a friend I was talking to about my weight loss, and she's like, well, I'm going to do that. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I've been thinking about being a coach. She's like, well, as soon as you sign up being a coach, I will be your, I'll be your client. And so she kind of pushed me. And then of course Shane came on. And so yes, I'm kind of paying it forward by being a coach to others, because, it's great when people notice the weight loss and they say great things to me, but then if I can help somebody get there too, then that's the best part, because, I don't want to just say, oh yeah, I look great, you can too, and then walk away. Like, if someone says, well, how can I do that? And I can say, let me help you. Then that's been exciting. So yeah, now I'm a coach and I'm able to coach. That's the thing that I really love about the program is the coaching aspect, to really help people. And then it keeps you, always learning too, because I have people, that have different things and say something or ask me questions. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to find out about that. I'm going to figure that out. And I'm going to tell you what you can or can't do, or what you can and can't have, or so I'm learning stuff, and it helps me in my journey. And so yeah, I'm doing, I'm working on, I am being a coach, but there is a place where you can also become an official health coach. And so that's something I'd like to progress to, as well as getting like certified in that. But I'm an actual coach for the company. So.
That is so great. So let me ask you a question. I like to ask the people, because everybody that watches this show have either they've been experiencing, symptoms, whether they're bedridden or they just manage their conditions and all that. And, we do have an enemy that lies to us. Can you, tell us some of the lies that you listen to, and some of the lies that still try to come and mess with you?
There's always that lie, you can't do this. You won't be successful. You won't keep it off. That's still sometimes a lie. This is the most I've ever lost, I've ever had to lose, but I've lost this so much weight. And I think when you first start at the very beginning, you have 80 pounds. You're never going to lose 80 pounds. Like, you're lucky if you'll lose 20 and just be happy. And that. So you kind of start going, I'm going to do this, but then to get to 62 pounds like me, it's like, oh, I can do this, and I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to, so I think there's that those lies will be there, that you can't, you won't, you've done it before, and you know what happens. And so there's still that lie, sometimes that lie will come that you're not good enough still. And the Lord has shown me so many good scriptures that it's just been helpful to myself to go, no. I got to renew my mind, and I got to remind myself what the Lord says about me and what he says I can do, and who he says I am, what he says about me. And I go look in the mirror, and I'm like, nope, that's not the same person. And so those lies can be there. And I think that's part of this journey, is learning how to denounce those lies and speak against them, and use Jesus' name, and I'm not going to go back, and I'm not going to go through that. And I know there's people that have physical pain from weight. You know, I had back pain. I mean, you know, my shoulder was really bad when you met me last year. I was starting to get there. You know, my blood pressure was starting to show some side effects of it. And I know people have knee problems from it and stuff. And so I just know I've seen a lot of people's testimonies on this health journey, and a lot of people have said, you know, I don't have the pain anymore. And, you know, in my knees, it's not, you know, I don't ache, and I'm off this medication, and I'm off this. And so I was never on medication, but I know that that's part of it, is getting off the medication or feeling healthy, not having those pains and aches. And for me, you know, not having the back pains and not having the shoulder pains and all of that has been wonderful.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, just a whole new person and a whole new outlook. And so do you do, like, you know, 2 Corinthians 10:4-5 talks about, you know, things that try to exalt against the knowledge of truth, right? So it says to take every thought captive. So do you take those thoughts captive by answering it with the word?
I do, and I pray, and I just, I do. The Lord will give me a scripture verse, and I'll use it every time, and just say, you know, this is what the Lord says. And I just feel like He, you know, I don't know, when I'm doing my devotional, He'll show me something, and I'm like, okay, there's that. I needed that today. You know, like, you know, things I've just been thinking about or worried about or just kind of stress, you know, just a little bit, because stress has not really been a big deal lately. I mean, I haven't had a lot of stress lately. And the Lord, even when I was having stress, the way I reacted to it was different this time. And
Wow.
I like that, because in the past it was food. It was about being mad at somebody and coming home and being all grumpy. And I will come home and I'll just be like, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, the Lord's going to take care of it. You know, just my faith level, I think, went up. My trust level went up. And so my security and my identity of who God has told me I am has gone up. So I feel more confident. And so a lot of those lies don't have a hold on me anymore.
That is awesome. Praise God for that.
Yeah.
And there is just no stopping you. And what I love is that there are, you know, you being a pastor, you're helping people as they come in broken or whatever, but now you've got a whole other area that you can help people in, because, you know, sometimes those two problems of, you know, maybe emotional life, they're not seeing that the result of it is overeating and not liking themselves. And oh, I'm just so excited, because this is like bringing you to a whole new level.
Yeah. And I like that I can help others. That's who I am. That's who God made me that. I mean, I've been a pastor's daughter and a pastor's wife. And so I serve, I have compassion. I love helping people. That I'm a teacher. Like, that's, you know, we work with youth. This is what I do. And so when I became a coach, it's like, oh, just another part of my life that I could help people. And so I will, like, spend extra time with my clients just because I want them to be so successful, and I want them to experience, you know, what I'm experiencing. And so it's been a great thing that the Lord has brought into my life, because He didn't just say it's time for you to change. He says it's time for others to change.
Yes, so that definitely is a spirit, soul, and body.
And when men especially see Shane's progress, then I've gotten some more, you know, men clients, because they say, well, you know, because you know, it's one thing to see it on a woman, but for men, you know, they do lose differently, and they, you know, it just brought a lot of men questioning and asking questions and wanting to know more about it. And now I've got like 2 men clients because they're like, oh, well, Shane was one of them, so I guess I have 3. But they were like, well, if he can do it, I want to do this. And so, and you know, and the thing is, we're older. We're in our, you know, we're 45, so it's not like we're 25. You know, we're a little older. So I think people kind of go, okay, I see this. I'm watching this whole thing, and so so he kind of coaches with me too. So it's
Wow,
fun.
what an example that you are. And I have to say, men do lose faster than women.
I do.
They do.
I do.
My husband makes me so mad sometimes. He's like, I lost 3 more pounds. And I'm like, well, I haven't. So let's don't talk about it.
Yeah, so don't say anything.
And I'm like, I'm working out 4 hours. You're not, you're like doing a few, bicep curls and you lose 5 pounds. I don't get it.
I do.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Charity. I mean, I am so excited to have you share this and for the response that we will get. And so the last thing I ask you to do is to please talk to the audience and encourage people into, making a change.
All right. Well, if this is something that you've struggled with, like me, for years, and you've just known that it's time to be set free from it, and it was time to let go of the weight, but also some of the shame that come with weight and the things that hold us back because of the weight, then and just ask the Lord. He's gonna be there for you. He's gonna reach out to you. And he also, is the one that created our bodies, and he knows what we need. And so he's the best person that can help us through anything we go through, but even weight loss, because he knows what our body, how it functions. And so I just want to encourage you to, ask the Lord to help you, to give you a true revelation of how you can be free from this, and that this is something that is possible. I don't care what age. I mean, even with Optavia, we have like people in their 70s doing this. We have people in their 50s doing it. It doesn't matter what age. We have teenagers doing it. So it doesn't matter how long you've had the weight. It doesn't matter how old you are. Freedom is available at any time. And the Lord can help with that. He can bring, freedom to your body. And, to be free of pain and free of worry and free of stress and all that puts on you. And just even the bondage that it brings, and it keeps you from being all that God's created you to be. And so I'm looking forward to this new season of my life and the new chapter and all that God has for me. And he has great things for you as well. And if he can do it for me, he can do it for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charity. And just continued blessings on your life. And I can't wait to see on Facebook all the changes.
Yeah. I'm closer to 18, about 8, I'm not 20 pounds, but 18, I'll be good with 18. So we're going to be there. So you'll see it. And then you'll see me. And from there, you'll see my journey to, okay, you're going to see me in the gym or wherever God decides I need to go next. So part of me goes, oh my, the gym. But you know what? When I'm where I want to be, I know that's going to be the next step.
Well, thank you so much. And we're going to close for now. And thank you all for watching. And we'll see you soon.
All right. Have a good day.
What a blessing Charity is. My gosh, just to hear the stories and to hear really what goes on the inside of somebody that really does struggle with self-hatred. And so I'm just so thankful that I believe with her story today that it has really unlocked something for you as well. So go to our Healing Journeys Today YouTube channel and subscribe, because you get to see shows like this, meet people like this that can help you with your journey as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.